The rain had been falling for hours by the time Sarah locked the door behind her, a steady, rhythmic drumming against the windows of her third-floor apartment, the kind of rain that made the world outside feel distant, muffled like a secret whispered under a blanket. She exhaled, shaking the damp from her coat before hanging it on the hook by the door. Another quiet evening alone. She liked the quiet, at least that's what she told herself. The apartment was small but cozy, a living room with a sagging couch, a kitchenette just big enough for one, and a narrow hallway leading to her bedroom and bathroom. The walls were thin. Sometimes she could hear the neighbor's TV through them, a low murmur of late-night infomercials. But tonight, there was only the rain. Sarah filled a glass of water, the tap groaning as she twisted it shut. She glanced at the clock. 8:47 p.m. Too early for bed, too late to start anything productive. She settled onto the couch, pulling her laptop onto her knees, the glow of the screen casting sharp shadows across her face. Then the knock. A single firm rap at the door. Sarah froze. No one ever knocked. Not here. Not unless it was a package, and the delivery guys always left those downstairs by the mailboxes. Another knock. Harder this time. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. Maybe it was Mrs. Grady from across the hall, needing sugar, or complaining about the noise that wasn't there. She stood, creeping toward the door, her socked feet silent on the hardwood. The peephole was foggy, warped with age, but she could make out the shape of a man standing in the hallway. Broad shoulders, a dark cap pulled low. "Hello," she called through the door, her voice tighter than she meant it to be. "Maintenance," came the reply, gruff, matter of fact. "Got a report of a leak in the unit below yours. Gotta check your pipes." Sarah frowned. No notice, no call from the building manager, and the way he said it, not a request, a statement. "I didn't hear anything about that," she said. A pause, then a sigh like she was inconveniencing him. "Look, lady, I don't make the rules. If you want to deal with water damage, that's on you, but my boss sent me here to fix it." Her fingers curled around the deadbolt. Something prickled at the back of her neck, a whisper of wrongness. But what if there was a leak? What if she was being paranoid? She unlatched the door. The man was taller up close. His uniform was dark blue, a patch on the sleeve with a logo she didn't recognize. His face was unreadable, not quite smiling, not quite scowling, just waiting. "Where's the bathroom?" he asked, stepping inside before she could answer. The door clicked shut behind him, and just like that, the air changed. Sarah's pulse jumped as he brushed past her, his shoulder grazing hers. Too close, too intentional. She could smell the damp leather of his work gloves, the faint metallic tang of something she couldn't name. "It's down the hall," she managed, forcing her feet to follow him. He moved like he already knew the layout. The bathroom was small, the faucet dripping steadily into the sink. The repairman crouched, running a hand along the pipes beneath. Sarah hovered in the doorway, arms crossed tight over her chest. "Don't see any leaks here," he muttered. Then, after a beat, "Gotta check the kitchen, too." He stood abruptly, and Sarah barely sidestepped in time to avoid his bulk filling the doorway. Her breath hitched as he passed, his eyes flicked to hers, just for a second. Something cold slithered down her spine. The kitchen inspection was quicker. He barely glanced under the sink before straightening, wiping his hands on his pants. "All good here." Sarah nodded, already stepping toward the front door, her fingers itching to yank it open. "Great, thanks for checking." But he didn't move. He just stared at her, at the apartment, at the door. Then, "You live here alone?" The question hung in the air like a struck match. Sarah's mouth went dry. My roommate's asleep, she lied. Works nights. The repairman's lips twitched. Not a smile. Something worse. Funny, landlord said this was a solo unit. Her stomach dropped. A creak from the hallway, the floorboard near her bedroom that always groaned underfoot. Except she hadn't stepped on it. The repairman's head tilted, listening. Sarah's heart hammered against her ribs. Move, run, scream. But her legs were locked in place, her breath coming in shallow, silent hitches. Then his hand dipped into his tool belt. A glint of metal. A wrench. Or a knife. She didn't wait to find out. Sarah spun, bolting for the door, but he was faster. A hand clamped over her mouth, yanking her back against his chest. Hot breath against her ear. Shh! The world narrowed to the pounding of her heart, the iron grip around her waist, the dizzying realization. He's done this before. And then the lights went out. Darkness. Not the soft, familiar dark of a bedroom at night, but a suffocating, ink-black void. The kind that pressed against Sarah's eyelids like a physical weight. The kind that made her wonder if she'd gone blind. The repairman's grip tightened. His breath was slow, controlled, like this was routine. "You shouldn't have opened the door," he whispered. Sarah's knees buckled. She thrashed, elbows jabbing backward, nails clawing at his arms, but he barely flinched. His body was a wall of muscle, his hold unbreakable. A sound. A click. The wrench, the knife. Her mind raced, picturing the layout of her apartment in frantic flashes. Door, kitchen, hallway, bedroom, fire escape. The hand over her mouth shifted, just enough. She bit down. A grunt, a curse, the grip loosened. Sarah tore free, stumbling forward, her shoulders slamming into the wall. She didn't stop to think. She ran. Down the hall, blind. Hands outstretched, fingers brushing doorframes, furniture, the edge of the couch. Behind her, footsteps heavy, deliberate. Sarah! Her name in his mouth made her stomach lurch. How did he know her name? The bathroom. She could lock herself in, call for help. She veered left, hands finding the doorframe, slamming the door shut behind her. The lock clicked just as a weight thudded against the other side. Then a laugh, lowsed. "You think that'll stop me?" Sarah fumbled for her phone. Where was it? Kitchen counter? Couch? God, please. A thump, the doorknob rattled. She dropped to the floor, back pressed against the door, legs braced. Her breaths came in ragged, silent sobs. Think. The window? The bathroom window was small, but she could fit. It led to the fire escape. She scrambled toward it, fingers clawing at the sill. The lock was stiff, rusted. Crack. The door shuttered behind her. One more kick and it would give. Sarah wrenched the window open. Cold rain slapped her face. She hauled herself up, shoulders squeezing through the frame. A hand closed around her ankle. She screamed, kicking backward, her heel connecting with something solid. A gasp of pain, the grip loosened. She tumbled onto the fire escape, the metal grating biting into her knees. Move. Sarah didn't look back. She took the stairs two at a time, the rusted steps shrieking under her weight. Above her, the bathroom window slammed open. "You're making this harder than it has to be." She hit the alleyway running. Rain blurred her vision. Her socks were soaked, her feet slipping on wet pavement. A car, a person. The street was empty. She ducked behind a dumpster, pressing a hand to her mouth to stifle her gasps. Her heart pounded so loud she was sure he'd hear it. Then, footsteps. Slow. Closer. Sarah squeezed her eyes shut. Don't breathe, don't move. A shadow stretched across the pavement in front of her. She was out of time. The shadow stopped moving. Sarah pressed her back against the dumpster, the cold metal seeping through her shirt. Rainwater trickled down her neck, mixing with sweat. Her lungs burned, but she didn't dare breathe. 1 second, 2 seconds. Then, a metallic clang as the wrench struck the dumpster just inches from her head. Found you. Sarah lunged sideways, scrambling on all fours before finding her footing. She sprinted down the alley, her bare feet slapping against wet pavement. The street ahead was still empty. No cars, no open stores, just flickering streetlights and the relentless downpour. Behind her, boots splashed through puddles, gaining ground. She veered left, cutting between two buildings, her arms pumping. Think, where's the closest place with people? The gas station, half a mile east, too far. A fence loomed ahead, chain link topped with barbed wire. She grabbed it, her fingers slipping on the wet metal, but she hauled herself up, the wire biting into her palms. A hand grabbed her calf. She kicked wildly, her heel connecting with his jaw. He snarled, grip loosening just enough. Sarah tumbled over the fence, landing hard on her side. Pain shot through her ribs, but she forced herself up, stumbling toward the glow of a convenience store sign in the distance. Almost there, almost safe. She risked a glance back. The repairman stood on the other side of the fence, watching her, not climbing, not running, just staring. Then slowly he smiled and pulled out his phone. Sarah's blood turned to ice. He wasn't done. The police found Sarah curled in a storage closet inside the convenience store, her fingers still locked around a jagged piece of broken glass. The repairman was gone. No fingerprints, no CCTV footage. The apartment manager swore no one had been sent to fix a leak. Sarah moved cities, changed her name, but sometimes late at night her phone would buzz with an unknown number. And when she answered, there was only breathing. Then a whisper, "You left the door unlocked." If you enjoyed this chilling tale of survival, don't forget to subscribe for more true nightmares lurking in the shadows. And remember, just because you think you're alone, doesn't mean you really are. Until next time, check your locks. Stay safe if you can.